Okay, so you're ready to install your seat. Before we install the seat, we need to make sure that this is prepped before putting it onto the frame. When you receive the seat, the actual leather seat part is going to come inside the box. The frame here is going to be inside the e-bike frame. We do this for shipping regulation and packaging quality. You're going to receive 4 screws that bolt the frame down into the frame. And you're going to have two 12mm bolts that hold the seat down onto the frame. You're also going to want a 12mm torque wrench. We're going to start with putting the seat on the frame. As you can see here, there's going to be 2 little groove slots. You're going to want these to hook into these little spaces here. They're going to hold down, and essentially 2 bolts are going to hold this whole unit in place. If you do not lock these in, your seat's going to be moving around. So we'll start by putting the seat onto the frame. It's helpful to just do it from here. Should lock simply into place. You're then going to have this plastic liner piece, and you're going to line these up with the bolts here. You're going to take one of your 12mm bolts, screw it in. It's helpful just to kind of pilot it with your hands first, just to get it in. And you can do it with the second one. Then you're going to want to grab your torque wrench, set to the right, and tighten the bolt down with the torque wrench. You're going to want this fairly tight, as you want your seat to be durable, and you don't want it to move around when you're riding. It's okay to get a little tighter with this, as the insert is plastic and not an aluminum or metal. Okay, so your seat is ready to go, and then we'll get it onto the frame. Okay, so you're ready to install your seat. This is a fairly straightforward step. There's going to be 4 of these bolts that are required to get the seat onto the frame. You're going to have the nut and the big washer that are going to go inside the frame, and then you're going to have the bolt and the small washer. They're going to be outside the frame. For video purposes, I've already installed the first bolt to keep this seat on. This is a fairly straightforward process. It could be easier if you had a second person, but you can do it by yourself. So I have the first bolt on the bottom right side. I'm now going to move on to the top left side. I'm working diagonally now, and I find that that's the easiest way to get this done, the most efficient way possible. You're going to want to make sure that the wires, the rear brake light, are wired through the middle of the seat. Then you're going to want to slide your second bolt on. I like to pilot the bolts with my hands first before I torque the bolt. Just makes it a little easier. The torque wrench won't really work until the bolt is fully threaded on. Okay, so you have the seat installed. It should be fairly stiff. That's when you know that it's installed properly. We're now going to move on to the battery, which will be the final part of this assembly guide.